We know from the previous lesson showing the proof of Pythagoras that it's related to squares in a right angle triangle. Now here I have a simple right angle triangle and I'm going to give it some lengths of 3, 4, and I know the hypotenuse in this case will be 5. It's actually a very special triangle called a Pythagorean triple, and I'll talk more about that in one of the later lectures. Now on this side here I can draw a square, and a square here, and a square on the hypotenuse. Now that bottom green square, it's actually a square of 3 by 3. The blue is going to be 4 by 4, and the 5 is 5 by 5. Now a square number means to take the 3 and multiply it by itself, but we write it as 3 to the power of 2, or 3 squared. 4 times 4, well that would be 4 squared, and 5 times 5 would be 5 squared. Now thinking about the theorem itself, it says that if we take the two smaller squares and we add them together, we should get the same area as the larger square. Now the smaller square, well that's 3 squared, the blue square, that's 4 squared, and the large red square, that was 5 squared. 3 squared, well that's 9, 4 squared is 16, and if we add 9 and 16 together, we do indeed get 25. Now questions like this are relatively straightforward, they involve simple numbers. However, we can come across questions with decimal numbers, and this is where it gets a little bit trickier, and we have to start using a calculator. So in this question, I would need to square 4.2. Well, 4.2 means 4.2 times 4.2, and I would get an answer of 17.64. Now this question would be so much easier if we used a calculator. Now on a calculator you can have one of these dedicated buttons for squaring a number. Now the one we really want to try and use is this one here, and that's the one that would appear on most calculators. So if I was to press on my calculator 4.2 and then press the squared button, you can see I get the answer straight away. So it is preferred to do it this way rather than entering 4.2 times 4.2 because there are more chances to make an error pressing a button, etc. So if I want to take 6.9 and find the square of that, I just enter 6.9 and press the x squared button.